the Italian Football Podcast.
Next question, Matteo Messina says, is it now time to say that Thiago Motta doesn't rate Douglas Luiz? This is becoming quite the talking point, isn't it, Carlo? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, they're calling it the Caso Douglas Luiz at Juventus, the kind of the Douglas Luiz case. That it is a problem. It is becoming a big issue because he was their big money signing along with Koopmeiners this summer. Obviously, in a huge deal that saw Enzo Ballinacea and Samuel Willing Jr. both go the other way. And how much did they spend in the end? It was like pushing on 50 million, something along in that region for Douglas Luiz. And he's only had one start, not even a minute off the bench against Napoli in the last game. He's been Weston McKennie, of all people, has been preferred to him in the last two matches. It seems right now that Thiago Motta doesn't seem to consider him the right player to play for his team and the way that he wants to play. What the reason is, we can only kind of, assume what that could be. I think there's a few different things. I think initially Motta probably didn't want to put him in because he came back late. He had the Copa America, and we've seen a few Copa America players for other teams struggle as well with their fitness and being a little bit sluggish in the early start of the season. So maybe he was a little bit hesitant to start him at the beginning. That could be understandable. But then after the international break, things haven't improved for him. That means it can't just be a fitness thing. I think that he does take too many touches on the ball sometimes, Douglas Luiz, and maybe that's something that Motta doesn't like. He likes his players to have as few touches as possible and move the ball quickly and move the opposition around, get them out of position, and then create overloads. And when you've got someone that takes too many touches and holds onto the ball too much, that can make it difficult. So that could possibly be an issue. He obviously thinks that Locatelli kind of at the moment, and Locatelli has been playing well, brings more kind of stability, equilibrium to the team, maybe at the moment. And I've seen this suggested that, Juventus play a 4-2-3-1, let's say, or 4-1-4-1. I've seen it suggested that Motta sees Douglas Luiz as more of an alternative to Koopmeiners rather than seeing them as two players that can play together. If that's the case,
strange.
If that's the case, then that's worrying because he's not going to start over Koopmeiners, which means he's a backup for the whole season. If that's the case,
that is strange. If that's the case, I don't think that. I think it could be a combination of basically letting him kind of like he's not happy with his fitness levels post Copa America. And I think there's going to, I think it's too soon to say it's a caso with 5-6 games in. But if we're here in November and this is the issue and it continues like this, then yes, it's a lot of money wasted. And then it actually is a caso. I think
you don't spend that kind of money and then basically use him as little or not at all in the last game as is the case right now. So that is concerning. I don't see tactically why he can't play with Koopmeiners, personally.
Yeah, I don't agree.
If you're playing three centre midfielders and you're playing a kind of game that is dominating the ball and possession, I don't see why. There has been other suggestions that maybe he's a bit too slow and Motta likes players that can press and win the ball back quickly, and maybe he's not suitable to that. I don't think Locatelli is the fastest player either, though, personally. But he is maybe better at winning the ball back than Douglas Luiz. Maybe he wanted McKennie and he started playing McKennie because he realised he wants more goals to come from his midfield. And, Locatelli doesn't offer goals, Fagioli doesn't offer goals, Thuram doesn't offer goals. Koopmeiners does. But apart from that, there isn't, the other centre midfielders don't, including Douglas Luiz. I know he had a good goal tally last season, but a lot of them were penalties. If you look over the course of his career, he's not a goal scoring midfielder. And he's not someone that's got a particularly amazing long shot or anything. gets into loads of goal scoring positions. So maybe he wanted McKennie because he wanted someone to offer more goal threat, and that's obviously a problem Juventus are having so much this season. Like I said earlier in the show, Juventus have got the second lowest XG in Serie A this season, which is pretty astonishing, really. So yeah, I don't know, but so far it is a little bit of a concern. I think more than a little bit of a concern right now that he's below McKennie in the pecking order is very concerning. We'll see. Let's park this until the next international break, or the November international break especially. And if it hasn't improved, then I think
Well, that's what I said. I mean, for me, I think it's too soon to call it a caso. I'd say it's a casino, a little caso. But but if we're like this, if it's like this in a month's time, then yes, I think then we can actually start talking, because he was very expensive.